Hey, this is Carlos. Welcome back. We're going to talk about more of those secrets about guys you've been dying to know. Well, this one's actually kind of cool, too. Well, they're all cool, right? These are three relationship tips for women about how men work. I'm going to give you some very specific things that most women don't understand about guys. And you got to imagine that to earn the love of the man you desire, you have to make him want you, right? You got to get that desire going. He's got to really desire you on a level that exceeds his normal, affectionate yet logical level of feeling. Now, for many women, this state is not something that they're familiar with creating in a man. Most attraction that a woman creates with is physical appearance and with her sexuality, right? That's how most women do it. To create real emotional connection with a guy, it's a completely different game. And what many women don't realize is that if you want to create a solid relationship with a man, the best thing you can do is create that kind of desire and attraction that he cannot resist. Many men find that this is the energy that really keeps them engaged in the relationship. You see, for a man, a large part of the relationship for him is the thrill of your touch, the uplifting word of praise or acceptance. Okay? So let's dig in. I'm going to show you three ways you can create that kind of irresistible attraction with a guy. Now, here are three relationship tips for women on how to make him really desire you. Tip number one is remember that love is a voluntary process. There's a saying, if a man wants you, nothing can keep him away. If he doesn't want you, nothing can make him stay. Which is why you have to remember the power of surrender when it comes to a relationship. When we come to a place where we feel like our partner is slipping away, maybe pulling away, the temptation is to rush in and pull him back. Hell, you want to drag him back in, right? Well, we lose that feeling. When we lose that feeling of closeness, it creates a natural panic that basically leads us to the next place, which is the fear of loss. It's a fear of rejection. It's a fear of denial, okay, that we're being denied. But in the end, it comes down to a fear, and it's usually because we feel out of control. One of the most common experiences for a woman is that panic of disconnection. A woman's fundamental drive is to create and nurture connections. To lose a connection feels like a small death of the spirit, and so it sends you right into this spiral of experiencing that flooding rush of fear. And I can't begin to tell you how many times I get emails and questions from women asking me something like this. Carlos, I met this guy. We hit it off. We jumped into a relationship right away. But after I saw that he had anger issues, intimacy issues, an ex-wife, kids, whatever, he started treating me horribly, and I mistreated him too. So we broke up. And it's been a few days, but I'm getting over him. I can't believe I let myself get treated that way and disrespected. I realize it's finally over. So I need your advice. How do I win him back? Now, I know that sounds a little bit far-fetched. It sounds kind of like I'm being facetious there, but that is actually what I get on a very regular daily basis. I'm not making fun in any way of the situation. This is the crazy glue grip of love. That's actually kind of a tongue twister. The crazy glue grip of love that connection creates in us. It's a potent mix of hormones and emotions that really hooks us. Now, I'm sure you've experienced a friend or someone you know who's been pulled into that black hole of urgent panic when they're having love problems. It all seems so irrational, too, right? Crazy love, as they call it. Now, you may have heard the saying, if you love someone, set him free. Be patient that love will bring him back. And if he doesn't come back, well, then it was never meant to be. And I know that isn't exactly a very enriching thought, right? It's kind of a scary one. It's like, what? He's not going to come back. But it's true in many ways. It sucks to let that connection go. But when you get right down to it, it's the most mature relationships that are built on the understanding that each person chooses to be there. It's not a compulsion or obligation. And that lets us relax within the relationship, which brings us to number two, which is relaxed women are always the most attractive. The plague of the 21st century isn't some new strain of the flu or something like that. It's the stress and the anxiety that everybody seems to carry around with them every day. You can see it in the faces of the people you pass on the street or on the way to work, in the aisles of the grocery stores, or in the fingers gripping their steering wheels so tight that their knuckles are white. We're all so anxious and tense, and we don't even know why. Or maybe we do. See, the tension of modern living just pulls us out of our loving and relaxed state. That's why the world can seem so cold and harsh at times. It's hard to relax when the world is telling you a million messages about how to be happy, how to look, how to eat, how to have sex, how to love, how to hate, how to act. The list is endless. And if we let them tell us how to live, we're going to lose touch. So one of the steps I frequently give to my coaching clients is to take a media fast. That means no news, no advertisements, no celebrity news, no media input. And if you can do this for a day, that's great, or even longer, I highly suggest it. You'd be surprised at the effect it has on your attitude and your well-being to break away from the need to be plugged in so much. I might take a look at the top news, the top stories on the BBC app on my iPad, but I don't indulge in any live newscasts. I found that within days of doing that, my optimism and outlook, it's better if I'm not watching the news. And my happiness is so much higher, too. And yeah, I have to tell you that unplugging from Facebook is a big step in the right direction, too. The social network has been linked to a surprising number of undesirable mental health issues. Depression, low self-esteem, bitter jealousy among all of them, okay? Facebook isn't the guilty party here. Well, not really. It's just that by checking on every person in your social circle and what's going on in their lives, whether it's relevant to you or not, it just serves to aggravate that feeling of inadequacy that so many of us harbor. Who's got a new boyfriend? Who's got a new girlfriend? Who's living the life that you want to lead? Too much comparison is not necessarily a good thing. In fact, it's almost always bad. So let's turn the corner here. Let's explain why a relaxed vibe is so important in your relationship with a man. You see, men look for many different signals and indicators of a woman's personality. We don't do this on a conscious level, of course. We men have our own set of instincts that we use to figure out everything from our social status to our romantic status. A woman's attitude is most evident in the aura that she gives off when she talks and interacts with a man. Now, I work out at a 24-hour fitness near San Francisco. I'm actually on the peninsula between San Francisco and San Jose. And one of the little people-watching games that I play with a friend is we pick out who we find attractive based purely on the way they carry themselves. Who has, for lack of a better description, a nice energy about them, okay? Now, there are the women who bluster through the machines in a need to work out their stress, which is a great way of doing it, getting rid of that tension. But all too frequently, these same women, they're just as high voltage and stressed out on the way out the door as they were when they came in. Then there's the women who manage to carry themselves with a feminine grace, no matter how much they're sweating it out on the elliptical machines. They have this sense of sureness about themselves in their walk that just says, I'm relaxed, I'm okay, I'm taken care of, I'm not anxious. And yes, there are always, without a doubt, these women are the most attractive women in the gym. Even if they're not sporting a set of double D fake boobs and a super flat tummy, they're still the most attractive women there, surely based on that attitude. In fact, one of the women is what we politely described as, well, full-bodied, but she is just incredibly sexy. So you got to find ways in your life to let go of the urgency that you carry with you way too often. Let your face soften, let your heart open up, let your eyes shimmer a little bit, and you'll immediately experience the warmth of attraction you're not only giving off, but actually it's going to get returned to you in kind. And now we have relationship tip number 3, listen deeper. Okay, another issue that comes up all the time with my coaching clients is understanding how to listen to men. Now, tragically, so many women are listening to guys the way that these women usually listen to their girlfriends, and doing that actually ruins any chance of connecting with a guy. So when you communicate with a man, you have to understand that he keeps his emotions and his deepest feelings in a specially locked vault. Now, the key to that vault is a special combination code. Are you ready for it? It's simple. Listen. And then when he seems to be done talking, wait and listen some more. Because he's going to go through a few steps of talking before he digs deep and tells you exactly what he's really thinking, what he's really feeling. The first words out of his mouth are usually the things that are on the top of his mind, the easy stuff that comes out, like, I don't know, and he might sound like he's completely oblivious, completely unsure of what his own emotional state is, but he's actually not. What he's doing is he's looking for the words, and he needs time to find them. Men aren't as good at this as women are. And of course, most women take those first words out of his mouth, they'll jump into the conversation there, cut him off before he has a chance to really dig deep. And then the woman makes a quick judgment of, oh, great, another guy who isn't in touch with his emotions. I bet he's afraid of commitment, too. Oh, well, such a shame. He was so cute and funny. I guess I'll have to go back and try again. Why does it have to be so hard to get a guy who wants romance? But what she doesn't realize is that if she just gave him time and a safe space to express those things about himself, the emotions, the next few things out of his mouth would have been much deeper and much more intimate. So let me ask you, what do you listen to or listen for when you're talking to a man? As it turns out, men give off special signals when he's around a woman. These signals are missed by about 95% of the time by most women because most women don't know what to look for. Now, these signals tell you things like, is he interested in you? Is he attracted to you? Is he a player? Or is he a guy that's really looking for a relationship? I'll give you a hint here. Most men are not players, and I'll explain why on the next page. I'll give you a hint here. Most men are not players. Is he a commitment phobe? I'll give you another hint here. Most of the guys you think are commitment phobes are not, and much more. If you want to discover how to read men, how to understand men better, and better than he actually understands himself, you got to know what signals he's giving off. Go on over to datingadviceguru.com. That's datingadviceguru.com/read his signals. datingadviceguru.com/read his signals. And you'll learn exactly what he really does want and what's lurking behind his eyes that you might never have known was there before. Go on over to datingadviceguru.com/read his signals. And I'll be talking again next time. This is Carlos Cavallo.